In this tutorial, we're going to look at how to format a screenplay. On this page here, you'll see that I have my script in front of me. To start, I'll ensure that I'm using a 12-point size Courier font type with single line spacing. So, how does screenplay formatting work? When looking at most scripts, we can break them down into the following 8 components. First, we have the scene heading, then below that we have the action section. Below that, you'll see we have a subheading section. Below that, you'll see the character's name, then extensions, which is optional. Below that, you'll see the parenthetical, which is also optional, then the character's dialogue, and lastly, here you'll see a transition. So, let's look at each one in more detail. I'm logged into Stencil here. Stencil is a film production management software which includes built-in screenwriting software. But you can apply what I'll teach you today in whatever screenwriting software you use. So when working with screenplay formatting, you'll often start with the slug line or scene heading. The slug line needs to be bolded and written in all caps. The slug line will consist of 3 pieces of critical information. The first part of the slug line indicates if the scene takes place in an interior or exterior location, or some combination of both. This section ends with a period. After that, the scene's setting will be indicated. This section ends with a dash. And lastly, the third part of the slug line contains the time of day. These will generally be dawn, day, dusk, or night. After the scene heading, we have the action element. This element describes one or more of the following things. First, if a script is introducing a character for the first time, it will generally provide a character description here. Similarly, if this is the first time you're introducing a character within your screenplay, their name should be in all caps. However, keep in mind that this only applies the first time that they are introduced. Second, to help screenplay readers better experience the environment of the scene, the screenwriter will often describe, in more detail, the location. If it is an interior location, the writer might describe the interior decorations or important objects in the scene. If it's an exterior scene, the writer might describe the mood or the weather. Third, this section is often used to describe character or object action. In this section, you can expand on what the character or object in your scene are doing. For example, if your character is running, you can write that here. Similarly, if your audience is seeing a plane taking off, you can also write that here. This helps your audience visualize what's going on in the scene. Subheaders are similar to slug lines, but they are less specific. They are commonly used to indicate another location within the scene or a jump in time. Again, they are capitalized and bolded. For example, if, within the same scene, we are located in a house, but we jump from the bedroom to the kitchen, we can simply use a subheader to make the jump. Or perhaps we don't want to jump space, but instead jump time. That's easy to do by writing something like later. Next, we have the character element. This element varies depending on the writer's needs. However, at a minimum, you'll always write your character's name as well as their dialogue. Character names will be centered and in all caps, and the dialogue itself will be restricted to the middle of the page. Next, we have extensions. These screenplay formatting elements are found to the right of the character name in brackets and tell the reader how the audience will hear the following dialogue. For example, here we could place voiceover if the following dialogue will be heard as a voiceover, or off-screen if the dialogue is heard off-screen. Next, below the character name, you'll sometimes see centered text in brackets. These are parentheticals, and they provide direction to the actor speaking the lines below. For example, should the actor scream the dialogue, whisper it, or should they hesitate before they say their lines? Lastly, let's talk about transitions. These text elements are right aligned and they tell a script's editor how to transition from one segment or scene to another. Generally speaking, transitions are used sparingly, if at all, in modern screenplays. However, there may be times in some scripts where providing transition direction within the screenplay will be necessary. Some possible transition options include cut to, fade to, match cut to, and dissolve to. So, that is the basics of screenplay formatting. Of course, there is more that can go into it, but the elements I talked about today will cover about 90% of what most screenwriters need to think about most of the time. Also, don't let formatting take away from your writing process, especially early on. You can always iron out any script formatting issues in later drafts. In an early draft, I would suggest getting the story you want to tell down in whatever screenwriting software you're using. In Stencil here, we have a major focus on story. We have many screenwriting tools built in that are designed to help you shape and enhance your story. For example, here you have a Screenplay notes section, which allows others on your team to provide feedback on your script. We also have a writing checklist tool to help ensure you're focused on the most important story elements within each scene. Notice that you can check each item off as you complete it, and if you're not sure what an element is, you can simply click on the text and learn more about what's being asked of you. You can also place any scene ideas you have in this section here, or you can click on this tab to add any notes related to your scene goal, or this tab here to plan out your scene's obstacles or tension. Over to the left, you'll see a scene-by-scene breakdown of your script. This allows you to view your screenplay's scenes at a glance and in sequential order. Here you can also add your starting and stopping slug lines, so you can see how your scenes flow in and out of each other. You can create interesting dramatic friction between scenes by planning how scenes bump into each other. Similarly, in this section here, you can grade each scene's performance on some of the most important narrative elements. For example, you might ask yourself, how good of a job am I doing in developing my character or my plot in this scene? If you don't want to see these large scene cards, but small ones instead, you can use this drop down here. Similarly, if you want to filter your scenes by acts, you can use this act filter drop down here. To add a new scene, you can simply click on this button here and then fill out your scene's details. Once you start writing, Stencil will keep track of your scene progress in the right sidebar here. For example, based on your scene's target word count, you'll be able to see how close you are to finishing. And at the top of the page here, you'll see data relating to your overall project's progress. Here, you'll see your film or documentary screen time, total words, as well as your overall percent complete. And because Stencil offers an entire suite of film production management tools, not just screenwriting tools, you'll also find many other valuable film production tools built into our platform. For example, here you can add your scene's characters, and you can also see your planned shot list here. You can also embed Stencil's production management software directly into your own studio website and brand it to look like your own. But that's for another conversation. I'll cover these production tools in an upcoming tutorial. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this tutorial on screenplay formatting helpful. If you are a film studio and you're looking to integrate all of your film production software needs into one platform, I'll provide a link to Stencil below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe as we publish new information for screenwriters and filmmakers regularly. Thanks for stopping by today. Take care. See you in the next one.